Peace and blessings, light and love. It is your girl, RayeQueen. And welcome. And thank you so much for being with me today. This is the Secret for Sisters Master Magnet series. And today we're talking about how do I stop getting angry about little things. I'm laughing right now because I tried to record this webinar a few minutes ago. I did the whole thing and then I realized I didn't turn on my mic. So anyway, that's pretty funny. I should get angry about that, right? No, I should not. I just, it is what it is. It was a learning experience. So anyway, now I'm back for real, and I have on the mic and I have on the camera, and I'm ready to rock and roll with you. Today we're talking about not getting angry about little things, and thank you for joining me, sending light and love to each and every one of you. Let me take a few minutes and tell you about myself. My name is RayeQueen. I am the author of several books. I am a holistic health practitioner. I have several degrees, a bunch of degrees that I'm still paying for. So y'all need to support your girl. And a bunch of certifications and designations, including ancient herbalist, nutritionist, life coach, mental wellness professional. I have a BA, a BS, a MA, girl, I got a bunch of degrees. And I'm a doctor of natural medicine. So, but none of that really matters. What matters most is I am walking in purpose. I have decided to follow the passion and the purpose I believe I'm here for. And once I decided to do that, I began to show up as myself. And I want to encourage you and anybody who comes within contact with me to become the best version of themselves, mentally, spiritually, physically, all of that. Because too often we allow society to define us and to dictate our choices. No, cut that out. Freedom is necessary. Liberation is necessary. Become the best version of who you truly are. And it is my mission to inspire that in anybody that I come in contact with. Okay? So I've done a lot of research on universal law, universal principles, laws of attraction, the human body, quantum physics, metaphysics. I am a metaphysician as well. And I did that because I needed to work on me. When I talk about this particular course, how do I stop getting angry about little things? It's because I used to be her. I was that chick getting upset about ridiculous stuff. And so at about 28 years old, I realized, you probably need to do something about this anger that you have. And I did. And now I'm 45. And I'm just now, getting it. I'm still struggling with it like we all are. Anyway, so that's a little bit about me. So today we're talking about how do I stop getting angry about little things. This is the first class in the Master Magnet series. There will be many more. Be on the lookout for the other ones as well. I don't believe in long webinars. I'm quick. Try to keep it to 30 minutes or less. Let's talk about this. Let's give you some techniques and send you on your way to go start incorporating those techniques into your life. So, I'm not a rewinder. I'm not cutting out what I mess up. I'm human. And this is not going to be perfect. I'm going to make some mistakes. And I'm okay with that. Now, if you're not okay with that, then you can just click off now. But I'm human just like you're human. We make mistakes. And if I fumble, if I stumble, whatever happens, it's just going to happen. And we all going to see it. And I'm going to laugh at it. Hopefully, by the time you take this serious, you'll laugh at it too. Because you need to stop getting angry, girl. It ain't even that big of a deal. So anyway, here we go. I hope you did the anger quotient quiz. That was a part of the workbook that I sent you. So I hope you have downloaded that workbook because you're going to take notes as we go along. And I hope you've already taken that anger quotient quiz like I told you to. See, some of you are hard-headed. So that we can keep this going. Okay? By the time you finish this course, you will be able to identify the source of your anger, and you will begin to identify the triggers. A lot of the triggers exist on a subconscious level, and so we need to learn how to find out what those are, so we not let them control us anymore. So if you complete this course, you will be able to easily scale your life so that the weight of the world isn't so heavy. Scale by definition is a specific weight. So when I talk about scaling your life, I'm talking about being responsible for how much weight you're holding, how much weight you're carrying. We all know somebody who's real heavy. You know, every time they come around you, they just have so much on them. They're heavy. Their energy is so heavy. We can be in a room and somebody who's heavy walks in and the whole room will get heavy. Like, it's not a cool place to be. It's not what's up. So when I talk about scaling your life, I'm talking about how to remove or being responsible for how much weight you're carrying. So we're going to talk about scaling later on in this workshop, but I just want you to keep that in the back of your mind as we begin to move along. So hopefully you've done the anger quotient quiz. Now, I did not put this slide in your workbook. I don't think I did. So if you want me to email a copy of this to you, hit me up on my website and I will definitely, no problem, get that to you. So if you score between 80 and 100, you need help. Your anger is out of control. You need to talk to somebody. Workshops, webinars might not be enough. You might need to, sit down with somebody who can be your coach through this process of transformation, because that anger that you have is it probably has already been very destructive, and you're hurting yourself and you're hurting other people. Just it's beyond the scope of this webinar, and I have no problem with admitting that. If you score between 80 and 100, rock with me, but also consider doing something else, calling somebody else, call me, or hit me up on my website and we can talk one-on-one. Okay, if you got between 60 and 80, you might be, you might punch a wall every now and then, or which isn't good. But there's certain things that might trigger that. And you're probably suffering personally and professionally. You probably ruined some relationships behind it. Your health is suffering. That's for both of these. Your health is suffering, because when you get angry, it's not a good thing. So anyway, rock with me through this course, and also consider maybe talking to somebody. If you score between 50 and 60, you have room for improvement, like we all do. But this is kind of at a self-guided pace. Like, you can read some self-help books, or attend webinars like this one, or read my book, or, you can take control of starting to control your anger. If you score between 30 and 50, welcome. That's where most of the world is. Most people are between 30 and 50. You probably get mad about something. You might not, yell or cuss a whole lot, but you've done it. You're probably angry. You probably hold on to your anger longer than you should. Somebody makes you mad. Next week, you still holding on to that. But it's not too damaging outside of your health. Anytime you're angry or have any type of negative emotion, it wreaks havoc on your body physically, and it manifests in the form of an illness. And we're going to talk about that later on. If you score below 30, you're pretty good, girlfriend. You're pretty good. You're in a pretty good place. You get angry probably, but don't hold on to it. You let it go. You move on. That's where you should be. I think I scored 19 or something like that. So I think that's what I scored. So that's a good place to be, but it doesn't mean that you can't benefit from constant reminders of how to live a peaceful and harmonious life. That's what's up. So one of the benefits of recognizing anger is we begin to see how destructive it really is, and the disguises that anger wears. Frustration, irritability, your bad attitude, that's all anger. I don't care what you call it. You can camouflage it as much as you want to. Call it whatever you want to, but anger is still anger. And that anger or that bad attitude or that frustration is going to eat you alive, and it's going to cause you damage. So keep that in mind. So anger not only affects us mentally, spiritually, and physically. but it affects us holistically. I mean, you can't get mad and think that your health won't suffer. You can't get mad and think that your mental state is not going to suffer. It's all connected. There's nothing that is separate. That is a very Western idealized view of the world. We are holistic beings. What happens to one part of us happens to other parts of us. Never forget that. So the average person thinks about 60,000 thoughts per day. I know I'm going really fast. Like I said, I will email this to you if you need me to, the slide, or you can always replay the webinar. Okay. So the average person thinks 60,000 thoughts per day. If the majority of those thoughts are on the negative end of the spectrum, your health will suffer. And ironically, the more negative thoughts you think, the more negative thoughts you think, because like attracts like. That's why it is critically important that you begin to think positive so that you can attract more positive things into your life. And that is a choice, believe it or not. And a lot of us don't want to take that responsibility, but it is. So in hindsight, have you ever felt like you overreacted to a situation? Of course you have. We all have. Like something happened, you went completely off, like you do, and the next day you were like, dang, that was too much. I got to apologize. I shouldn't have done that. We've all done that. So let's discuss two techniques in particular that I want to assign to this particular topic. And then we're going to talk about how to scale our lives, which applies to all areas of our life. So the first is to become a movie star. I was supposed to be a movie star, but I was going to be a famous actress, but then I got pregnant in college. Anyway. And the second is called to inflate the hate. In my many years of research and self-development, I fell in love with the teachings of several people. And most of these people are people who have taken information from our ancestors, from the motherland, from the cradle of civilization, and regurgitated it and made it applicable to modern day. And I'm not taking nothing from these people, whatever. But this is by birthright our information. But one of those people is Eckhart Tolle. Eckhart Tolle talks about becoming the watcher. You become the watcher by disidentifying with your mind and watching yourself like you're watching a movie. So this technique is powerful. I remember I used it one time when I was at a bar. When I first came across this technique a long time ago, I was at a bar in Denver called Sippers. And I'm from Denver, Colorado. Shout out to my Bella Warriors. And I used it, and it was amazing. It really showed me how powerful this technique is. And when we become the watcher, or we become our own movie star, it becomes really easy to see how ridiculous some of our responses are to certain situations. And secondly, you are able to become the person you want to be. You know that whole fake it till you make it thing? We've heard that before. Fake it till you make it. We've all tried that. But what happens is halfway through it, we forget that we're faking it. And all hell breaks loose. And when you forget that you're faking it, you disappoint yourself. And if you're faking it in certain situations, you disappoint other people. So that whole fake it till you make it it's a cool technique if you can remember that you're faking it. But if you can't remember it, becoming the watcher is a much better technique, because when we watch ourselves as if we are not ourselves, we become like little puppet masters. We control how we come across. We control how we respond. We control how we react. We control what our personality is. We control how we come across to other people when we watch ourselves as if we're not ourselves. Now, if you are struggling with who you are, like you don't want to be this person you used to be, but you're not quite sure who you want to be, then I encourage you to act like somebody you admire or respect. I mean, you're a movie star. You're going to act. So find somebody whose values align with the values that you hope to carry, or whose personality aligns with the way you want to be, and emulate those characteristics. If I was going to do that, it would be Erykah Badu. Yes, I have a girl crush on Erykah Badu. I am a straight woman, but I have a girl crush on Erykah. aside from the fact that we have very similar ideologies and philosophies, every time I see her, she has this sense of peace. You know, even when she's around ideals that are different from hers, or things that might upset her, it doesn't bother her. She has this little giggle and she keeps it moving. That is the place I want to be in. And so that's who I would emulate. Find the person that you would most like to emulate and do it. Another technique is called inflate the hate. That's in your workbook too. Most of our anger is because we don't like the person, we don't like the situation, we don't like the place, we hate it. And so this technique is to exaggerate the hate, inflate it. See, we are really good with doing this with our children. You know, sometimes our kids might lose at a video game and they lose their mind. And we will tell them very quickly, calm your ass down. It's just a video game. It's not the end of the world. That's how you inflate the hate. So next time you go through a situation, use that same technique on yourself. It's not the end of the world. So what? The kids spill spaghetti on the carpet. So what? It's not like the whole house is going to come tumbling down because there's spaghetti sauce on the carpet. Your kids are healthy and happy. You're healthy and happy. Let's keep things in perspective, okay? Excuse me. Let me drink some water. Now, are the terrible things that happen to you really that terrible? Are they? Think about it for a minute. I want you to really think about something that happened to you in your past that you thought was horrible at the time. Did something beautiful happen as a result? I'm willing to bet it did. See, what happens is a lot of times we don't have the power, the willpower to let go of things we know we serve us no longer. And so the universe, the Most High, divine intelligence, God, Jesus, Yahweh, whatever name you use to represent your higher power, that higher power will eliminate that situation so that you can set yourself up to receive something greater. So what, you lost your job? Did you ultimately get a better job that fell more in line with who you are? So what, that dude left you. You didn't need him no way. He was no good and you knew it. But you stayed there and you were going to continue to stay there until the universe or God, whoever, took it away from you. So think about things that are terrible and always know that there's a blessing in there somewhere. There's a reason that it's happening. And we're going to talk more about that in a minute as well. So let's talk about how to scale our lives. So scale is an acronym that I made up to talk about the weight that we're holding, that we're carrying around. So the S is for see yourself. The C is for constantly give. The A is for ask why, not why me. The L is laugh inappropriately. And the E is to embrace gifts. The scale technique is a concept that should be applied to every aspect of our lives, not just for anger. This is, whenever you watch one of my webinars, I'm gonna talk about the scale technique because I just think this is such a good way to take control of our life and to begin to be able to attract those things into our lives that serve us best. So let's talk about seeing yourself. We've all heard about the power of visualization. And at the expense of sounding cliche, visualization is super dope. Super dope. It's one of the highest techniques around. And this kind of ties into becoming the watcher. Except when you become the watcher, you're doing it in real time. Like you're watching yourself as you're behaving. When you visualize yourself, you're doing it beforehand. You want to see yourself in the situations that you want. And you want to see yourself at the end result. Visualize yourself getting the job that you want. Visualize yourself in the relationship you want. Visualize yourself driving the car that you want. You have to visualize it. And you have to enjoy the visualization. Don't just see it. You have to feel it. You have to smell it. You have to taste it. You have to become it, you know. And I know it sounds very second grade-ish, but remember when we were kids and we would imagine things and we would just get lost in that imagination? That's what you have to do. That is how you attract things to you that you want. So if you want to become a more peaceful person, a less angry person, see yourself happy, see yourself smiling, see yourself enjoying life. That's what your visualizations have to become. Okay? Constantly give. And I know I'm going fast. I'm sorry, but like I said, I like to keep it short and sweet and to the point. And we'll talk more about it on the next webinar. Or you can always contact me at RayeQueen.com. So constantly give. This is about honoring reciprocity. Reciprocity is a universal law, one of the most powerful universal laws when it talks about receiving the things that you want to receive, receiving the gifts that you want to receive. So the more you give, the more you receive. I know you've heard that a million times, but it's true. And I know people feel like, well, you know, RayeQueen, I'm homeless, I lost my job, I ain't got no money, I don't have nothing to give. I hear you. And that's why I want to talk about Deepak Chopra. One of the things I learned from this man, Deepak Chopra, another one of the men who have taken our ancient knowledge and has done a really good job with regurgitating it. He talks about the power of giving, and he talks about the act of giving not having to be tangible, nor does the receiver have to be aware that you're giving a gift. And so what I've done with that information is I have written a standard silent well-being wish. And I say this silent well-being wish to a lot of people, especially when I'm like in the airport or I'm just sitting there waiting for something. I'll look around and I'll find people and I'll focus my attention on that person and I'll say my silent well-being wish. They don't even know that I'm giving them a gift. It doesn't change the fact that it's a gift. So I'm going to tell you what my standard well-being wish is, but I challenge you to write your own, because when you write your own, it sounds more like you. You use your word choice. And when it sounds more like you, that makes it more genuine. And the more genuine it is, the more heartfelt it will be. The more heartfelt it is, the more emotional fuel it will carry, which, if you've read my book, Lots to Be Mad About, get my book. You know that emotion is just energy and motion. And so the key to manifesting is to take control of that energy and motion. Energy and motion is what's going to move the universe to respond to our desires. Okay. So now, here is my silent well wish. And it's very simple. It's nothing fancy. I wish you health, happiness, joy, and peace, light, love, and laughter. That's it. I'll focus my attention on somebody who has no idea I'm focused on them, and I'll say, I wish you health, happiness, joy, and peace, light, love, and laughter. That's it. It's amazing how your vibration switches. Like if I'm in a bad mood and I start sending these well wishes to everybody, I instantly feel better. You can't say these words and be in a negative space. They can't occupy the same space. And so I challenge you, like I said, to write your own well-being wish or well wish or whatever you want to call it. That's just what I call mine. It opens up the portal to receive. And that's how universal law works. When you give, you receive. Now, don't get me wrong. You can give in many other forms. But for those of you who are having a hard time with knowing what to give, this is a good place to start. But still give time, still give money, still give whatever else you want to give. But when you do this, it does something dynamic to your mindset when it comes to how to give. Okay. All right, so let's knock out these other ones. You know what? This slide is all messed up, but I don't care. So y'all get the point. The A in scale is ask why, not why me. Ooh, child, why me is when people play the victim, and nothing more pathetic than a victim. And when you say why me, that is a victim identifier. It makes it very clear that you are a victim. And when you operate from that victimhood, it carries a vibration of powerlessness. It removes personal accountability. It removes control. It takes away from your liberation, from your freedom. Because now you're telling yourself that everything happens to you and not because of you. When you ask why, it prompts you to look for the you in every situation, because you, at the center of everything that happens in your life, is you. And so when you ask why, you have to ask, why is this happening? What did I do? Why am I here? What am I supposed to be seeing? What is the lesson in the situation? What is the blessing in the situation? And one thing I always quote, my friends always make fun of me, is you're always exactly where you're supposed to be. No matter where you are, you are always exactly where you're supposed to be. So understanding that, or embracing that, then you need to take that time when you're in that space to figure out why you are where you are. Okay? And then laughing appropriately. Now, listen, this is one of my favorite ones. I've been told most of my life that I laugh inappropriately. That's cool. And I don't mean it like in a disrespectful way. You know, I don't mean show up at somebody's funeral and just bust out laughing. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about finding the humor. Because like I said earlier, most things aren't as bad as we make them out to be. So find a way to find the humor in every situation. Maybe somebody looks like your crazy auntie, or maybe they got snot bubbles coming out of their nose. I don't know. Just find something that is humorous in a situation. Because laughing releases tension and discomfort. And so by laughing, you help to alleviate that laughter and the discomfort. And listen, trust me, you're not going to get diagnosed with PBA. What is that? PBA? Nobody's going to put you on any medication, hopefully, for laughing at the inappropriate time sometimes. Just, keep it in check. Don't go out like my RayeQueen told me to, laugh at your daddy's funeral. Don't do that. Anyway, embrace gifts, which that should be on top of that gift. It's amazing to me how difficult this is for some people. But embracing gifts is a necessary component to reciprocity. And gifts come in all kinds of forms. Gifts come in the forms of compliments, invitations, advice, kind words, hugs, companionship. The list goes on and on and on. I have a friend who travels with me. I have a travel group called Queens Who Travel. This is for Black women looking for a cultural and historical and social experience. We have a good time, but we learn a lot about our history and our culture on these organized trips. And we travel 2 to 3 times a year. If you want to rock with us, I invite you to. Please join us. That's at queenswhotravel.com. But anyway, there's a sister who travels with us. And one time she was sharing a childhood story of hers, and that was hurtful. Like it was hard for her to remember that childhood story. And I offered her an alternative scenario because she had made up in her mind what that situation was. And all I said was, well, maybe it was not that, maybe it was this. And what she said to me floored me. She said, "That's a gift. Thank you." Tell me that's not the dopest thing you've heard in a long time. It's amazing. Even if you don't agree with what the person is giving you, it's still a gift. A new perspective on something or a new opportunity. Even if it's a gift that you're going to re-gift, it's still a gift. And it immediately changes your vibration to understand that no matter what people are giving to you, it's a gift. It might be a gift of them showing you who they really are, but that's a gift because now they need to not be in your life anymore. So by receiving everything as though it's a gift, and by saying, thank you, that's a gift, it changes your vibration and it places you in a position to create an honest assessment, and instead of respond angrily, respond from a place of joy. Even if it's something that's not pleasant, you can still respond from a place of joy because now you've been given a gift. Now that you've been given a gift, you can continue to give the gifts. And the more you honor the gifts that you receive, the more gifts you will receive. And when you don't receive gifts, like if you're constantly invited places and you say no, 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 you're blocking your blessings. If somebody tells you, oh, you look really nice today, and your response is this old thing, you're blocking your blessing. You're blocking the flow of reciprocity. So stop that. Somebody says you look nice today, say thank you. If somebody says Hey, would you like to join us? Say yes sometime. Those are gifts. When somebody says, um, or gives you a hug, let them hug you. It's a gift. People are giving you gifts. Okay. So, haha, we are at the end of this very brief webinar, How to Stop Getting Angry Over Little Things. Now you've learned how to scale. Well, you've learned a little bit about scaling. I touched on it very briefly. I will be doing other webinars that goes more into detail about it, but a lot of these techniques can be found in my book, Lots to Be Mad About, Let It Go, or The Secret for Sisters. That's part one. That is a very little book, and it has some exercises in it, some very practical exercises for you to do. And I am working on The Secret for Sisters is my top-selling book. And I am happy to announce that The Secret for Sisters Part 2, which is called You Are the Shit, is almost finished. So it will be on the market very soon. All of my books are available on Amazon.com, but you can buy my books cheaper from my website, secretforsisters.com or RayeQueen.com. The secretforsisters.com also has some other great things. Affirmation, the Sister Circle where we meet every month. It has Wine 30 Wednesdays. For those of you who don't know, I'm a bit of a wino. And Wine 30 Wednesdays is our inspirational hour where we can, come together on a spiritual level and inspire, where I can inspire. So anyway, check your girl out at those websites, and thank you so much again for rocking with me today. I truly, truly, truly appreciate your presence. And like I said, please visit the websites. And also, if you're interested in traveling with us, check out queenswhotravel.com as well. Sending light, love, peace, and blessings, and all the very best in health.